breaking news alerts, and the Weather Authority forecast. This is Good Morning Cincinnati on Star 64.
Well, since 2001, more than 120,000 veterans have died by suicide. The suicide rate in male veterans ages 18 to 34 has doubled since 2006. The Face the Fight initiative is a collaboration of veteran-focused organizations and nonprofits that work to help bring awareness and bring support. And joining me this morning is President, CEO of USAA, Wayne Peacock, and Army veteran Andre Rush. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure being here.
Yeah, Bob, good to be with you.
And Master Sergeant Rush, thank you for your service. Let's just start with what Face the Fight is and how did you get all these different groups to sort of come together?
Well, Face the Fight's a coalition, as you said, of corporations, nonprofits, foundations, and veteran service organizations that really come together to bring awareness to this really important problem and then to actually work on reducing the rate. As you said, it's 1.5 times the national average. Our aspirational goal is to cut this in half by 2030. And we've spent the last 18 months really doing research and investigation and bringing this ecosystem together. And very excited today to kind of publicly launch this and step out and really try to make a difference on this important problem.
And Master Sergeant Rush, I know it's a very personal issue for you. I know it has touched your life in a way that if you don't mind, could you get into that story a little bit?
Yes, Bob. I came out some years ago. I have PTSD, and I made that nationally known. And when I did that, there was this flood of other men and women, military veterans and so forth, that came in and said they had the same issues, and thank you for coming forth. And from that, it just kind of spiraled out to so many different things and made what I felt my advocacy and what my cause is in the military country and so forth that much greater. So that's why it's so important that I was honored to be here with USAA for this Face the Fight and to do this and to highlight the things that we need as a family, team, community, together, serviceman. It doesn't matter, but it's extremely important to me, and I'm just humbled for it.
Did you find, among other veterans like yourself, that there is this desire to keep this hidden, to not admit and seek help?
Oh, absolutely. I was one of them. I said it openly, and I say it to you now, but it was the absolutely wrong thing to do. And I look back at it and said, how could I have been so, I use the word foolish or so arrogant or in my own head with that part of it, because I was only hurting myself. I was hurting my family. I was hurting friends. I was hurting my job, community, everything that was around it. And of course, it does have that stigma. So sometimes it's not your fault. You just think that you need to be in this box where people don't understand. And when I did that, I said, you know what? It's okay for that. And speaking of that part of it, we do this thing what's called a buddy check. And if anybody's seeing this, they need to reach out to any military, veteran, family members, and just, without texting, pick up the phone and just say, hey, are you okay? You'll be surprised what you'll get.
And Wayne, how will funding from Face the Fight be used to provide sort of direct mental health services, to get people past that sense of stigma and get them to a place where they can get help?
Yeah, well, broadly, working on awareness programs and then very specifically really expanding kind of clinical care in community settings so that we can expand the network of care across America. And I think there's great work underway already. Folks like Stop Soldier Suicide are a good nonprofit that we're supporting to expand their care, an 800 number to be able to call and check in, and then the ability to get to a clinician and be able to talk about their particular problem. We've just put a grant out for the Ohio State University, and they're actually building the training to be able to train more people to be in this community setting and to be able to help. And we'll continue with the funding to make grants to those nonprofits and other VSOs around the country to expand this network. Everyone can contribute, as the chef said. You can just call a vet and have a conversation. That's a great way to start. You can also kind of lean in and donate and participate with us. Go to wefacethefight.org. It's a great place to get materials, and then it's really easy to kind of participate and add to the funding here to be able to make a difference on this important cause.
Well, gentlemen, my son is a recently commissioned second lieutenant, so it's a very important cause to me, and I know to a lot of other families as well. So thank you very much for what you're doing, and thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for his service as well.